Hey everyone, it's Tuesday night. It's Fish Talk Live, episode number 18 tonight. We've got a great show coming up. So hey, do this. Share this out. Let's see if we can get 100 people on this show tonight, and we can start giving away big, beautiful African cichlids from Ron Demers, Ron Cichlids shop online. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's Fish Talk Live night. Let's share this out. If you're an admin or a moderator on a Facebook social media group, share this out to your group. You know, this is good content for your members. If you do that, we can certainly give you shout-outs. Just contact us, and we'll do that for you. We got a great show tonight. Share this out, everyone. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday night. It's Fish Talk Live night. Yeah. Oh, Ron. Hey, welcome to Fish Talk Live. Welcome, everyone. It looks like we're dropping frames again, which is never a good thing. So just bear with me just 1 second. We're getting ready for a great show. Yeah, so I'm looking at a few things on the server. Apologize about this. It appears to be going. So in the chat, would you tell us what it's looking like on there? I'd hate to have to start the show over. It's just crazy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Fish Talk Live. My name is Dave Gould. I am the guy behind the control room here, giving you the graphics and the music and the video and all that. Fish Talk Live is a show that Ron Demers and I've created. It's for our Facebook group, Ron Demers Cichlid Clubhouse. And I've got like so many messages coming at me right now, so it's almost impossible to do this. Anyway, we have this live show. It's Fish Talk Live. This is the 18th episode. We're super excited about it. We've been doing this for about 4 months now. I've got a great following. About 63,000 people have viewed the show in these last 4 months. So we appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody giving us likes and subscribes and liking the page and all of that. We stream, multi-stream this show. We stream on Facebook and YouTube mainly. We do the chat on Facebook, but we also stream to Periscope and Twitch simultaneously. You can find these streams if you just search for Ron Cichlids or search for Ron Demers on that favorite streaming platform. And when you find the show, give us a subscribe. That way you'll know when we come up and we're live. You know, I say this every week. Our mission really is to create a live show experience for you, our viewers, to provide content, to provide learning places, but also to reward our group house members and give away some stuff and do all sorts of really cool stuff. If you like talking fish shop and you like looking at great fish and tanks and all that, you certainly are in the right place. And this show is definitely for you. Like I said, I'm the man in the control room feeding you the vibe. But one of the greatest things I get to do every week is introduce this guy, our host. He is Mr. Ron Demers. How's it going, Ron?
Hey, good evening, everybody. I think you got my mic off.
Yeah,
hey.
Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Glad you guys could make it this week. We have a great topic. We're going to talk about water changes and tips and tricks and things you may or may not know about, and looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I've got a bunch of things I got to do here, Ron. So go ahead and talk about what's been going on in the clubhouse lately. We're up to 2,200 members. Yeah.
Clubhouse has been doing exactly like we were hoping for. You know, we've got a great group of people, a lot of people that are sharing their knowledge, helping out. We're not seeing any squabbles or disrespect or anything. It seems like a big happy family. I've been on a lot of forums in my time, and this one's showing me that, you know, there's a lot of people engaging and a lot of people proud of their fish tanks and asking questions, getting some good answers. So I'm happy. I'm very happy. I don't think I ever expected it to grow this quickly. I'm getting people every day that want to be part of the group, and it's brings tears to my eyes a little bit. You know, I try to help, and I was hoping that we would have a platform that would help others, and it seems to be doing a very good job of that. Business has been very good this month. Thank you, everybody, for your business. Thank you for the shout outs. Thank you for your support. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for believing in everything I represent. I appreciate it. I really do. I think about you guys on a daily basis. Every time I ship out fish or something, the humble part of me, it gets me choked up. There's part of me that's very humble about how much I've grown and how great of a following of people I have. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So this might turn out to be one of those podcast episodes. And you know what I'm starting to suspect, Ron, is, you know, there's the multi-stream. We use multi-streaming software, which means the software that's on my computer uploads to a multi-streaming software, which then disseminates that to YouTube and Facebook and all these different places. And it's Restream, and what Restream does is a lot of gamers, and they've got, I think there's a choice of about 40 servers, right, that you can connect to. And I think what happens is that some of those servers are good and some are bad. And I have it on auto, like pick the best one, right? And I think what's been happening, because you know, we've got all the bandwidth in the world to send a rocket to the moon. You know what I mean? And then here we are in this like glitchy thing. So like I'm watching it here on my iPad, and it's just you stuck, and then it's just me stuck, and it's just silly. But anyway, apologize about that. We're doing the best we can. So what we may end up doing, and Phil, go ahead and fill up the chat. The reason I'm talking about this is I want to get the viewers also involved in their feedback. We may end up just dropping YouTube Live, and we'll just use Facebook, Ron, and go directly to Facebook. And then what we can do is we can always post the video to YouTube, because we don't really interact on YouTube. I mean, it's kind of what we want to do. Does anybody out there have any problems with that? I mean, you know, just let us know what you think on that, especially if you're a YouTube viewer watching this, because I think that is what we're going to have to do to solve this, and we've talked about it several times. Anyway, so what we're doing here is we've got Fish Talk Live. We've got our Facebook page. We certainly would like a like on there. We're getting, on the average of 3,500 views every week. So you would imagine we'd get more likes on that page. But it's kind of a slow growing page. So if you can do that tonight, like you want to bless Ron and Dave, go to Fish Talk Live's page and give it a like. That would be awesome.
I
okay.
would say try to kill the YouTube feed and see what happens.
Yeah. So I see Roger Esparza. We got Garrett Brewer, Scott DeFore, Don James. What's up, Mr. Don James? Tim Brander. I don't recognize the name, but welcome. We're glad you're on. Jar Moreno. You want to jump in there, Ron?
Yep. Jar's getting some new fish tomorrow. Lori, and I saw her other half, Joe. He was on. Matt, my boy Matt.
We got Marie Roth Henderson. Apparently, she's a new Ron Cichlids customer, so congratulations on that. And
first time order. She just got her fish this morning, and
nice.
Cold Indiana, and she's very happy.
Yeah.
There's Rob. Hey, Robert.
So everybody that's on, there's 59, 60 people. I'm seeing it's jumping up. Hey, just because the video is jerky and locked up, basically, don't go anywhere. We're still going to give away some cool stuff. We're still going to give you a bunch of awesome information and all of that. So let's do a couple of shout outs for group shout outs. So I just saw Roger's name. Ron Demers Clubhouse member, Mr. Roger Esparza, has got a new group. It's called Malawi Madness. And so we just want to give a shout out to Roger and Malawi Madness. Keep sharing it in out, and let's see if we can help build your group for you, Roger.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so let's go back over here. Some of those other group shout outs, Ron, are, if you know them by heart, go for it.
We've got Southeast Fish Addicts, TJ Huffstetler, New England Cichlid Association, Paul Weiser, of course, Cichlid Madness, our buddy Gigi.
Yeah.
Crown Royalty Cichlids, Nathan Pate, West Coast Cichlid Exchange, Isaac Garcia, and then we've got the Frontosa Lovers, Scott DeFore.
Yeah. So big shout out to Scott. Thank you so much today. Scott was so excited about the show tonight that he went out and he was posting up in his group. I saw that. It was awesome. Nice. Hey, there's some other people that I'd like to see a little bit more on the show. Like, where's Fred Asperger? If you're out there, Fred, we'd like to give your groups and everything a shout, too. We don't get to see you so much. As far as the New England Cichlid Association and Mr. Paul Weiser, I've been doing this every week. And we're going to round out this month. They are the New England Cichlid Association, which is a association based out of Connecticut. Is a paid membership of about 200 people nationwide. But this year they're the host club for the American Cichlid Association Convention, which is going to be held in Cromwell, Connecticut, July 18th through the 22nd. They've got a ton of speakers. They've got the Biotope Cichlid Tanks competition. They got a Saturday night banquet, multiple auctions throughout the week. You're into fish, you live in the Northeast, or even if you don't live in the Northeast, you live in California, get yourself a plane ticket and get out there. It should be a pretty fun show. So thanks to our good friend, Paul Weiser, for being there and also supporting the show.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. So turn on your notifications. I don't know if I need to go to that, but I do it every week, so I'm going to do it anyway. Let's just see what happens on the video. So right there on that bell, if you click that on while you're watching this show, you can get a notification every week. So that's that. Put it in full screen. Now, tonight, the video is... Yeah, so I'm going to just say real quick to the mods, keep that chat line clear. We're totally aware of what's going on, so appreciate that. Let's see, go full screen, share and like. So by sharing and liking, what we're doing is building a larger and larger community. People that haven't seen Fish Talk Live, people that don't know about that there's this experience, and Oh, Larry Johnson's on. Hey, Larry, what's going on? So he's posting up about a Malawi safari. So if you guys, so we had Larry Johnson on in episode 11, and we appreciate that. That was also a technical difficulty show, but hey, that's just the way that one worked out. But Larry Johnson is an expert in Malawi cichlids and is also a visitor to Lake Malawi and has been, I don't quote me on this, but at least for the last 15 years going out there and doing safari. So it looks like he posted that up, and check him out or reach out to him. Tonight we have a show and our topic is this. So let me play this. See how that goes. So yeah, we are going to be talking about water changes, tank and equipment maintenance. Just one of those shows. So last Saturday, Ron and I got together. There's a lot that goes into putting a show like this together. Yeah. This is not an easy thing. So to compile it with technical difficulties is just so disheartening. It just it crushes my spirit, really. So I apologize to you guys as the viewers and all that. But anyway, last Saturday, Ron, we outlined the next 3 months of shows, the next 12 shows. Yep. So we've got some great shows coming up. There's tons of things going on in the back end of this show as far as sponsorships and different things. One of the things that we can announce, Ron, right now is that the cichlid chick is no longer, she's not going to be part of this show. No. So, certain, I mean, it's nothing big. Andrea's a great girl, but we were really looking for someone else. So, hey, you know what? If you are a rising star and you're a hot girl, no, I'm teasing.
Wow.
I'm teasing. No, if you're a rising star, if we're kind of what we're looking to do, what we really want to do is build this show that is kind of like Howard Stern's. Not his content, not his sassy ass and all that stuff, but
or his perm.
Yeah, or his perm or his small penis or whatever. More like well, he always talks about that. I heard it's a myth, but I don't know, and I don't really care. But anyway, so no, he's got that studio, and the studio is filled with these cool personalities, and each person kind of chimes in on the show. And I've always envisioned that for the show as a way to, have Ron, put him in a perm wig or an afro wig or whatever. Anyhow, so there are opportunities, and we're also looking for a few people that want to work behind the scenes on the show as far as sponsorships and coordinating certain things. So,
I mean, from what I've seen, Dave is a mastermind with this stuff. So the reality is what you get to take away is Dave can show you some stuff that I don't know if anybody can teach you, and you can take that to your normal life and anything else you do.
Yeah. I might have insulted somebody. I just meant a really curly wig. I don't know how else you'd say it. But anyway, don't be insulted. Let's see. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on, and that's how that's been going, and that's kind of the update on that. We're going to go ahead and jump into the topics and do all of that. Okay, so let me ask this question. Please respond. You all are hearing the podcast, or the podcast. It's resorted to a podcast. You're all hearing this, okay, right? So anyway, let us know if you're hearing. Joe is volunteering. Oh, I see. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. All right. We are going to... So tonight's show is not like a super in-depth thing. So one of the challenges that we have on the show, Ron, and we talked about this on Saturday, was, we didn't want to make this show like super simple, like just so basic, that advanced fish keepers were not interested in the show. But then again, we wanted to be able to give tips and tricks to the newbies and people that are coming into it. Part of the cool thing about fish keeping, and we've talked about this too, Ron, is that it's expanding quick.
Very quickly.
So every shipment of fish you give to someone, and then someone comes over to the house and says, "What are those fish? They're amazing. I got to get some." "Well, get a tank." Well, that's been happening like exponentially increasing since 2000, unbelievably. Like it's just
I've seen a big change just in the last year.
Yeah.
More and more people are migrating to cichlids. And
yeah. Thank you so much for the feedback on the audio. So as long as you guys can hear us, that's fine. We apologize. There's just certain things we can't control. Yeah. So that's how. So today's episodes of tank maintenance and water changes and things like that. So it's a quick show. It's not like super in depth or anything, but we're just going to talk a little bit about that stuff. So if you want to go ahead and start, Ron, unless there's anything else that we need to get.
No, did we kill the YouTube chat, the feed?
No, you can't do that in real time. That's
okay.
It's not okay. So it's not. Let me just clarify.
No, that's fine. I didn't know. I don't know the behind the scenes.
Yeah, so it's not that you can't do all four. It's connecting to the server, and then. So I want to try connecting to Facebook directly is the thing. So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll try that next week.
All right.
Yeah.
As I said, thanks again everybody for joining. We're going to talk about aquarium maintenance. Tonight we're going to discuss how to clean and maintain aquariums, filters, etc. We're going to discuss step by step, weekly water changes, tips and tricks for monthly and quarterly maintenance. How to clean a used aquarium. Let's say you bought a used aquarium off of Craigslist or something and needs cleaned. Products that are used for cleaning your aquarium. How to clean an established tank, your tank that you have up and running, and then how, what, and when to clean filters and filter accessories.
Yeah.
So those are the topics we're going to touch on tonight. Like Dave said, we're going to try to go through them pretty quick. Anybody has any questions that are a little and deeper, you can always reach out to me or the Fish Tank TV whatchamacallit, the post. We'll talk about it.
Ron, we talked about this before, how the show becomes like this conversation piece through the week. This is one of those shows that I'm really hoping is going to spark some posts, right? So I want to, because I really want to hear about how everyone else does it. I don't want to hear it in the chat. I can't read the chat really in real time.
Yeah, exactly.
But in on the groups or any group, any groups like that, let's start talking about, like, especially the tips and tricks, So
yeah, something that you guys maybe invented or developed, something that you picked up somewhere else, and you just want to share the love, share the knowledge. So first thing we're going to talk about is water changes. I believe in weekly water changes, me personally. The frequency in which you decide to do a water change depends on the water quality and how many fish you have. You may be able to get away with every 2-3 weeks. You may decide you can only get away with once every week. Weekly water changes are essential for replacing nutrients, removing nitrates, things like that. Some of the things that you need to be aware of when you do clean a tank, which we probably all are, is you may need to remove some decor. You're also going to need preferably a gravel siphon, maybe some buckets, some pumps. There's quite a few products that are used for this. So in the case of doing water changes, a Python is your best friend. That or some type of water pump hooked to your Python or a hose. You're also going to need things like, they have these little scrub wands, basically, so you can scrub your glass, scrub the rocks, stuff like that. They've got magnet cleaners that are good for cleaning glass. And of course, when you're refilling your aquarium after the water change, to make sure you use your dechlorinator. We're also going to talk about some things that people don't normally think about, like you need to be cleaning your glass lids if you've got glass lids. You need to wipe down the LED lights occasionally. Um, if you buy, let's say you just bought an empty aquarium from Craigslist and it's in rough shape, but you need to clean it. There's quite a few products out there that are proven to work really well to remove scale, water spots, calcium, maybe a saltwater tank, and it's got some salt crust on there. Um, Vinegar is a really good for cleaning some of that scale off. There's another product called Barkeeper's Friend. You can find it at your grocery stores or home improvement stores. It comes in a powder and a liquid form. They make razor blade scrapers, plastic scrapers. They work really good for getting that hard to get stuff off the glass. Just stay away from the silicone if you've got a glass tank with the razor blades. Um, you can also, as Dave mentioned earlier, to me, you can use 1,500 wet dry sandpaper, on a glass aquarium if you've got some really stubborn stains that you can't get off. Try to avoid using things like bleach or anything toxic. It has a way of sometimes staying in the silicone and leaching into stuff. So try to avoid it, if all necessary. Um,
One of the tricks that I learned, I think I learned it off of Facebook. I want to see if I can put this video back up instead of this. Someone tore me up about my cheesy picture. So if you've ever seen the wet sandpaper, it's usually black and really, really fine. So fine sandpaper is like 800, but even finer than that, like 1,500 or 3,000 grit. If you use that, you can get a lot of that scales and water spots and things like that off of tanks. Actually, it's a great way to get a tank for nearly nothing. Go buy a tank that's like, it's all tore up and be like, oh, it's, and get it cheap, and then you can resettle it from there. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but where are we at on that?
I figured you were going to go through the tips and the tricks, and then I'll go back through a little more in depth on some cleaning.
Yeah. Did we already go through this part right here?
Yeah, I just went over it as an overview.
Yeah. So
I'll go back through it.
So some of the things that we've been finding and listening to and watching on the group, finding these tips and tricks is the Python's got that 2.5 inch or 2 inch suction on that. Sometimes you get fish up in there. So one of the tips and tricks that you can use to keep your fish from getting sucked in there I can't tell you how many times, or at least 3 times I've accidentally sucked a fish. I know my what fish was that? That little dwarf from Boona got sucked up on there, and he wouldn't even come to the front of the glass for like 3 months. Anyway, so put some filter floss in there. One of the other trips you can do, particularly with polyfill, is when you do your cleaning, use that old polyfill to seed your new tanks or QTs or anything like that. If you need to do a quick biological boost, that's a great way to do that. Or squeeze out that old black polyfill into a rinse it with some water and use it with your house plants. Some of the other things with water changes, quick tips and tricks, those carpenter clamps, use those to secure your hose. That's probably the one thing that we all do is, we'll forget that we're filling or forget that we're sucking it out or whatnot. Or even when you go to change on that siphon, when you flip that switch and you go from sucking it in to pushing it out, it can put some pressure on the hose and rip your hose right out of the tank. So carpenter clips help in that. Also, temperature-wise. So we've seen on the DIY group, inline thermometer. Someone built a beautiful inline thermometer so that he could see what that temperature is. And then Ron's method that we learned from Ron is that laser thermometer. So having a laser thermometer to turn the water to the temperature, boom, zap it, and then fill. And then some economic financial tips and tricks. Buy safe. So if you don't know Seacom Safe already, it's the powdered version of Prime. You get
concentrate.
Concentrate. So 250 grams of it will do 50,000 gallons of water, and 250 grams costs you about $15 or something, $12.
Way, way, way cheaper than Prime.
Yeah. So also on that is the Python has that hook. Hooks are good for refilling. Ron was just telling me before the show started about how he used PVC with a little hose connector on the bottom and a couple of 90s.
$2. I mean, you just get, I think, 3/4 inch PVC, a couple 90-degree angles, and then a 3/4 inch hose adapter to 3/4 inch slip fitting. Glue everything together and make a big hook. Attach it to your Python, hang it over the tank, and fill it up. You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. So that was the weekly water change, and there are some maintenance things that you can do on a monthly, quarterly, and yearly maintenance, and that are very important and that should be done all the time for a couple of different reasons. One, that you won't have any kind of catastrophes if you stay on top of it. Just like your car, your car, do normal oil changes, and your car's going to last a lot longer. So your aquarium equipment will last a lot longer and cause you less stress if you do a few things. And some of those things are with your canister filters, you've got O-rings that seal the top of the pump from the canister itself. Using Vaseline to do that. I do that every month on all my or I don't change my canisters every month. They're
every time you open it up.
Yeah, every time I open it up, though. The same with the magnetic impeller. So with your magnetic impeller, you want to clean the inside of that out with a Q-tip. Clean off the magnet, but then put a little bit of Vaseline on that, put it back in there. If you're a fluval guy like myself, I've got a ton of fluval filters. The impeller cover, and I did have a picture, but I don't think it's going to work. So those, if they get even just the slightest amount of buildup in there, those impeller covers will pop and it will rattle. So if you have a rattling fluval somewhere, it's usually because of the impeller cover.
How's that again?
Trust me, I know. The one in my bedroom is the one that
like machine gun
seems to want to do that every time. Like, and I'm like, look, I just changed water intake. I don't feel like getting up and doing that. Anyway, you want to change your filter pads probably when they start breaking down. That's usually quarterly time period. One of the tips and tricks and hacks on that is buy yourself filter pads in a roll and cut them to size. That will save you a bunch of money. You buy a whole roll for $15.
And on that, make yourself a little cardboard jig template.
Yeah.
So whatever size you need, cut out a little piece of cardboard so you can use that as a template every single time you cut them out. So or cut them out in mass numbers, so it's always the same size.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then let's see what else. Your monthly or quarterly, depending on what kind of chemical media you use. Usually it's pretty monthly for me on Purigen and things like that, but either change or recharge. Part of that monthly, quarterly maintenance is also cleaning your hoses and your intake. So Ron, why don't you tell us a little bit about how to do that? When the hoses,
it's something that's commonly overlooked by a lot of people. That if you hang on the back filters, you have intake. On your canisters, you have an intake and an output, and then you have the hoses. So they make a device. It's a bottle brush on a flexible.
I think I have a picture for that, Ron.
Wand.
Let's see if I can find it.
Amazon's got them, I think, for $10. If Dave has the picture, it's basically the brush and then a brush kit.
There you go.
So there's the picture.
Yeah.
The one that you see coiled up there, what you do is you take the hose off of your canister. Let's just talk about a canister for a minute, and you drop that metal flexible wand, so to speak, down, pull it out the other side. And do that a few times and have some water in there. And what's going to happen is that brush at the end is going to pull all of that crud that is built up for months and months and months in that hose. It's going to pull it out of there. Why do you want to do that? Because it's like your arteries. The more fatty foods you eat, your arteries get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier, and you don't get the flow through there. It's the same thing with the water. So all that crud builds up in there, and it decreases the efficiency of your water flow in the canisters. So that device will do a great job of cleaning out the hoses. You probably only need to do it maybe twice a year. And then in that kit, they've got these little bottle brushes. Those are awesome for cleaning out your intakes for your hang on the back filters, your impeller magnet wells,
Yeah.
anything that is round that it's a real pain in the butt to get something into. Those are a great job of getting all that cleaned out. But that's something you should do a couple times a year. You should take your filters off and do a real deep cleaning, kind of almost like back to factory new. It'll improve the efficiency of it dramatically.
Yeah. So building yourself a little cleaning kit and having that is good. And some of the things that are good to have in there are those green pads for cleaning, the green pads for the scraping. Toothbrushes work really well. I know I use a toothbrush probably every week, because usually around like the heaters and those types of things is real difficult to get at. Also telescopic, I don't know what you call that. What do you call that scratchy pad? The green one?
They make like these cleaning wands.
Yeah, but what do you call the material that's on the scratchy pad or on the backside of
the
scour? Yeah. So they make telescopic wands with scouring pads. I have one that's kind of the shape of an iron. That's kind of got a rounded point. That's great for getting in the corners.
Now they make different types. They make them designed more for glass that are a little more abrasive, and they make them that are a little more soft for acrylic. So I know there's like two color versions. The blue is meant for, it's a little more abrasive. It's meant for glass, and the white is meant for acrylic.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about that, is remember that when you're using these things, be very careful that none of your substrate gets caught up in it when you start to scrub on the glass, because you're realistically taking a chance that you're scratching the glass or the acrylic by having any little bits of sand or substrate in between your magnet or your wand or your cleaning device.
Yeah. And that does happen way more than you think it does. And the thing is you can tell when you do your water change, when the water's below that, those scratches really show up. There's these fine scratches.
Algae grows right in that scratch. It stands out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. So I had another thought, but I lost it already. But
Joe, he says, I use Lori's toothbrush on my tank every week.
I saw that. That's too funny. That's funny.
Hey, they make plastic scrapers too. The plastic scrapers look like a razor blade, but there's not a real razor blade. It's just a piece of, it's like a credit card, which is, there's a tip in the trick. Take some old gift cards or credit cards that you don't use anymore.
Yeah.
Man, those things at an angle work great for cleaning glass.
Yeah. I'll finish up this quarterly, monthly thing. Also on there, you want to check your heaters. Now, usually when after a few months or a year or whatever, you'll get used to everybody, I'm sure, can contest to, they know exactly what 80-degree water feels like. I know I do. Just putting a hand in there, I can tell you if it's like a little cold or a little hot. But you do want to check your heaters, because heaters will go out. They can go out catastrophically with electrical charges and all kinds of crazy stuff, but then they can just stop. Right? So you go in and you do water change, or you put your food in. It's always good to test the temperature of your water, even if it's just a finger. But I've had 2 heaters go out, and it's like, what is this water? Now, I live in the southern USA. I live in Alabama, so it doesn't get that cold at all. So when my water drops, it drops to like 75. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's about as cold as it's going to get. It's 75. But still, I don't like to have the roller coaster of temperature for the fish. One of the other monthly maintenance things is, airlines get hard. Even the jungle blacks and things like that, they get really hard. So cutting those back 2 or 3 inches so that there's a nice firm fit on whatever it is, your sponge or those types of things.
Just had that happen to me the other day. We set up a pump that had 4 filters, 4 hang-ons, and my son pushed it on there, and I came out in a little while later and it was blown off. And it was because that last 2 or 3 inches was crusty and hard.
Yeah.
And we cut it back a few inches and we're good to go again. So
yeah. And the same thing goes with your suction cups too. So there are better suction cups than other suction cups. But I generally, those white ones or the clear ones that turn white, those are the worst. They'll die. So change your suction cups out. They'll save you some hassles. And then also check your sponges. And Ron and I were talking about this. I'll let you talk about it a little bit, but it's mostly about breakdown, right?
yeah, I mean, depending on what type of sponge that you have in your canisters or your hang on the back filters, if you have truly a sponge, they do break down over time. So I've had some aqua clears for the years, and I may get 6 to 9 months out of a sponge before, because when I clean it, I mean, those sponges do a great job cleaning. The problem is when you go to clean them, you just can't rinse them out. You can't get everything out. You actually have to get them wet, kind of smack them against something hard, and do that 8 or 10 times before you get all the gunk out of there. And over time, just that abuse kind of wear down that sponge. So when you're rinsing your sponge out and you see little pieces of sponge coming off, it's time to order a new sponge.
Mm-hmm.
What I like to do, just another little tip and trick, and on any of the hang on the back filters I use, I like to put some polyfill underneath of the sponge. The polyfill catches all of that main gunk, and then I can just throw that out once a week. So my sponge will last longer between cleanings.
Yeah, a little pinch of polyfill goes a long way.
Yep. Good stuff.
So where are we at? Do we go? So we're going to go back to this document.
Yep, I'm going to talk, probably going to get into how to clean the substrate. I've seen some people asking that.
Yeah. Before you get into that, because I read that, talk a little bit about why first. Okay. Talk about how the substrate will make your nitrates skyrocket if you don't do proper.
You've got many different types of substrate, and depending on the type of substrate will depend on how often and why you need to clean it. If you are old school gravel, gravel is large and coarse, and there's lots of pockets where uneaten food and waste can collect. This will be a playground, so to speak, for your nitrates to build up. This is the reason why we do water changes. One of the biggest reasons. The finer of the substrate you go, the less of a problem that is. So any of you that are using like aragonite, sand, something like number 1, you only need to do a gravel siphon maybe once every couple weeks, once a month, because the stuff really doesn't settle down in the sand very much. And if you guys are using like pool sand or blasting sand, that packs in really tight. So one of the main reasons that if you've got pool sand or play sand or blasting sand, you do want to get deep into that sand at least once a month. You guys may or may not have been hearing this in the last 6 months or so, but what happens is anaerobic pockets of gas will build up underneath that sand because it packs in so tight like concrete that fresh water and air don't make it down there, and these anaerobic pockets can be poisonous to your fish. I've heard of people that basically get down in there and then all of a sudden their fish are dead. So be in a normal habit of maybe once a month getting deep into that type of sand. But that's the whole why we do these gravel siphons, is to get all that crap out of the bottom of the tank before it starts to break down and diminish our water quality.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue on. I'm trying to mark down. Ryan had a question, so I'm just trying to mark it down. There's a good question.
And there's different types of substrate. Just remember when you add new substrate to the tank to rinse it off really well. I'm an advocate of aragonite or crushed coral type products. They are known to be a great buffering tool for your fish tank. It'll help keep the pH higher, as if you have a low pH out of the tap, it works amazing. But you need to rinse it out really, 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 really well. It is dusty, and if you add water to it, it looks like a gallon of milk. So do yourself a favor, spend the extra 20, 30 minutes in cleaning it out. And then that'll be a lot less work that your fish tank has to do for weeks and weeks and weeks afterwards.
I
So
got
just
a
take that into account.
got a little story about that. So, as you all know, I reset up a new tank for my Mbuna. It's a nice 75 gallon, loving it, and I put in all new Argonite. And I didn't really feel like washing Argonite, to tell you the truth. So I hired my nephew to do that. And you know, sometimes when you hire good intentioned kids and family, it doesn't necessarily work out. So I put, here I'm doing the change out, which the change out takes a whole darn day. Move the all that. Put the Argonite in there, start filling it with water, and yeah, it was like milk, So I'm like, oh man. So I filled it up halfway, then I drained it out, sucked it all out. And then what I did is I put a bucket, a 3-gallon bucket, a small bucket in there, and then filled it in the bucket and let it rinse out. And it worked out really well. That was a good trick. It didn't stir up any more of it, and it's actually crystal clear now. It's nice.
I made a strainer. It looks like something you would use for panning gold. It's a big stand. It's got double layer of window screen. I put 10 pounds of substrate in there, and I just hit it with the garden hose, and about 5 minutes later, I'm all done.
Yeah.
So I got a question from Jackie I want to answer real quick. He says, how many pounds of sand do you use per gallon? So I was talking with somebody the other day about that as well. My policy is what I like is 10 pounds per square foot. So if you've got a 48-inch tank and it's like a 48 inches by 12, then it's 4 times 10, which is 40 pounds. That'll give you an inch. So I don't go by the gallons. I go by the tank size. So a 75 gallon, about 80 pounds, 75, 80 pounds. 100-gallon tank, 90 to 110 pounds.
Yeah, that's about what I put in. I think I put 80 pounds. I bought 100 and put 80 in, and 20 was for the other QTs. So, yes, I put sand in my QTs.
The quarantine tank. It's not a hospital tank. That's fine.
Yeah.
Plus, like you said before, I think your pH is like 7 coming out of the tap, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, I want them to get into that behavior of sifting and just. You said something to me. We're digressing, but I want to just share this with everyone because we had a talk about Oscars one time, and you were saying, "Well, Dave, think about it. The reality of the situation." And I was like, "The reality of the situation? What are you talking about?" You're like, "You've got this animal that you threw into a cell, right? He locked him up. He doesn't have a girl. He has toys. Nothing to do, no toys and all that.
Just a bunch of other dudes pounding their chest.
Yeah, exactly. So I always think about that. I always think about my selfishness as a fish keeper, so I can look at beautiful fish. It's kind of really. Anyway, we won't get into it. I don't want to bum anybody out, but it's true. I mean, it's throwing them in prison. So we can watch them. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, they call it a glass cage.
Yeah. You were talking. Yeah, go ahead.
There's another little thing that some of us like to do. Saves us time, especially if you guys got a big tank. For you guys that got a big tank, I would invest into maybe an 800 to 1,200 gallon submersible pump. Get some type of fitting on there that will adapt to your python. And because sometimes gravel siphoning, to clean the whole bottom, you look at the tank and I've only changed 20 gallons, but I want to change 50 gallons. A submersible pump is a great thing to have. They're cheap. Amazon, eBay, wherever you can pick them up for 20, 30 bucks all day long. And put a fitting on it so it screws onto your python or a garden hose. Same thing, 3/4 inch. And you can just pump the water out of your tank. It'll go a lot faster than a python. And as most of you know who own a python, pythons do waste tap water. You have to have tap water pushing through it to create a siphon before it starts sucking. Some people turn it on, get the siphon going, they turn it off, the sink off, and it drains naturally, but it does take a long time.
Yeah.
I personally just hook a submersible pump up to it when I'm done doing my gravel siphon. I just pump out all the water really, really quick. and then I start filling it back up. And it's also good for those. Another little tip or trick is I have people that say, listen, I live upstairs and the tanks are downstairs, but I don't have any water downstairs. You can put a 5-gallon bucket in your sink upstairs. You can put that submersible pump in that 5-gallon bucket, and you can run a garden hose all the way down to your tank, wherever it's at. As it fills up in the sink, it'll go right into the tank. So you don't need to put any adapters or anything on there. Just a little tip or trick that 30-40 bucks, and it'll save you a lot of time, because as you all know, if you've got multiple tanks, you may spend half the day doing water changes, or in my case, 2 days doing water changes. So
here's the thing that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but it happens to a lot of people all the time, is taking too much water out because you know the phone rings, or the FedEx is dropping off new fish at the front door or whatever, or putting too much water back in because you forget. You know, and Ron was the one time I was doing it, and Ron was like, "Yeah, I don't do anything else when I'm doing water changes."
Too many catastrophes have happened in my life by being distracted.
Yeah. So, having like 1,100 gallon per hour pump and getting it done will also decrease those, because what happens is in a slow water change, there's too many times to get distracted. So I'm thinking about I'm doing it. I got to go to Amazon right now.
And a couple of weeks ago we spoke about emergency equipment, and I mentioned to people, have another pump on hand for like your wet dries or return pumps. So something you can do is you can buy a spare pump, say for your wet dry or like that. Use that pump to do these water changes, and if and when the day comes when you need a spare, you've already got it. You can multi-purpose this spare piece of equipment, so to speak.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, it'll save you a lot of time. It would blow your mind. Like we were talking about a little while ago, cleaning your canisters. You can be on a regiment to clean your canisters and your filters, or you can just pay attention to the tank. Some of my canister filters I don't have to clean, but every 3 to 4 months. My show tank in the living room has 2 huge canisters. I clean one every 6 months. I clean the other one every other. And so it's literally every 4 to 6 months. I clean one, but I don't clean the other one, which is another little trip. We were talking earlier, Dave, about tips and tricks, and they weren't, not all of them were popping in our head, but they are now. You've got multiple filters on a tank. Do not clean both or all the filters the same day.
Yeah.
Stagger them.
Yep.
Clean your canister one. If you got, say, 2 canisters on a tank, or a wet dry and a canister, clean one. Wait a few weeks to clean the other. Just so in case something happens, you're not taking a hit to the bio or the bacterial load, so to speak, that's in there. It goes without saying that when you do clean your filters and your sponges and your biological media, anything that's in the filter, use dechlorinated water or tank water. Don't use it straight out of the tap. That little amount of chlorine or ammonia that's in there could kill the beneficial bacteria that is in there. I think most of you already know that, but it's we often overlook it when we're in a hurry to clean the tank out, clean the filters. Sorry.
Yeah, and particularly on canisters, when you're cleaning your canister, is your biomedia, for the most part, does not need to be cleaned. You can just lift the tray up a few times to try to dislodge large pieces or whatnot, or have a 5 gallon of some tank water. You can do a quick dip and rinse, kind of. But for the most part, you do not need to clean your biomedia. Ever.
A properly set up canister filter will catch all the crap before it gets there.
Yeah.
That's a, people think today. Every so often someone says, my tank crashed after I cleaned my filter, and we ask, what did you clean? Well, I took everything out, and I put it in hot water and bleach. Well, that's the reason we don't do that.
Yeah. Especially the bleach part. The bleach part's bad.
No, I mean, bleach does a great job. Chlorine does a great job at killing stuff. You may or may not want, but it has a bad tendency to leave residue that, if you ever put bleach on your hands and then rinse it off, your fingers will have this slimy feeling. It leaves a residue. You
Yeah.
actually have to try to get it off several times before you remove it.
Yeah, it will dry. It can even dry residue. So if you ever, for instance, recharging your Purigen, you use half and half bleach. But if you ever look as it's evaporating, there's a little white ring going down, and that's actually the chlorine. The salt from the. Yep. I don't know what is chlorine, HCl or something, hydrochloride. Is that what chlorine is? Anyway, so
I don't remember. Not my chemist.
Yeah, me neither.
Something else that I don't think any of us really do anymore is on the bottom of your air pumps. If you're running an air pump, there is a small cotton filter in the very bottom of it. It's there to be kind of like an air filter for your car. Check that once in a while. Make sure it's cleaned out. If it gets backed up, there may be some back pressure in the pump. And air pumps, the relatively smaller ones, are all a simple design. It's just a little tiny DC motor in there that's running a diaphragm, and the little diaphragm's going in and out. So it's sucking the air from outside of through that air filter. Check that once in a while, and like Dave said before, check the hoses. Have a spare thing of hose. Maybe even change out your hose once every 6 months to a year. What does that like cost? Like $2-3, Dave? I think for 25 feet of hose, something like
Airline.
that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty cheap.
I really like
silicone.
Yeah, I like the black jungle silicone too myself personally.
Yeah, that may cost a little bit more, but I
$10 though maximum it for 50
I think the black lasts longer because it doesn't break down with UV. I think that was the whole thing with the black silicone.
Yeah.
Something that's often overlooked also is like Dave was talking about a scrub pad earlier. Use that to clean off your heaters if you have submersible heaters. Maybe twice a year. Sometimes they get deposits or algae build up on there, and they're just not as effective as normal. I take mine out every year because my heaters on all my tanks outside are seasonal. I take them all out. I scrub them real good. I spray them down. I rinse them off. I hang them up to dry, and then I put them away. I mean, I know you guys aren't in that situation, but for me, I'm seasonal when I need heaters outside, and then I put them away. You'd be surprised the slimy coating that's on your submersible heater, and it does decrease its efficiency.
It's just for anyone that's joined us since we started, we there's some sort of server issue where the video is only giving 1 or 2 frames per second. So apologize about that. Welcome to the Fish Talk Live podcast. The audio seems to be working really well. We both have these cool microphones. So where are we at on this, Ron?
We're just going through. We're about done. Just touching on some things to look for, basically. Something I want to touch on real quick, and I have to do it on a regular basis. For any of you guys that prefer to use polyfill, this is very important. Polyfill is awesome, plain and simple. It's probably the best polishing mechanical media you can ask for. When you clean your filters, take the impeller out, as Dave mentioned earlier. Inspect your impeller. Make sure all the fins are still intact. Also, there may be a hair. I mean, I've seen like my wife's hair end up in there. Polyfill.
What was that, Ron? Your wife's hair in the tank? Yeah.
She's got long hair. She's a brunette. So when I find a 12-inch hair wrapped around my impeller, I'm pretty sure it's hers. It ain't mine. Mine's all gray and short.
Yeah.
But the polyfill will wrap around there too, and it'll shorten the life of the impeller. So just maybe every other time you clean the canister, really go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Doesn't take very long. And like Dave said, when you put these back together, make sure you grease the O-ring. I can't tell you how many people say, well, my canister leaks. The reason why canisters leaks is because somebody just didn't put everything back right the way it was supposed to. Vaseline, as Dave said, is an awesome lubricant for um, for O-rings. If you can get your hands on food grade silicone, they also have it at home improvement stores for like your showers and stuff. It's really good for that. But Vaseline is cheap, and most people have it in the house, especially if you have kids or diaper rash type
Yeah.
things like that.
And they've now got very, very large bags of polyfill at Walmart for $8. So there was the little one, which was probably about 24 inches by 10 inches, and it was like $6. But now they have this one. It's larger than a king size pillow and way fatter. I don't know what size it is, but it's
packed
cheap.
in there pretty tight. It goes. I know people that say they can get almost a year out of one of those.
Yeah. And Dave Bogarts always says, I love polyfill. Don't over polyfill or whatever. Don't over polyfill. You really don't need to pack it in there so that it's super tight. What you want to do is just get it wet so that and you can feel roughly what its real size is.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's what I was going to touch on. Is we all try to put it in the canister dry. No. Take some polyfill, get it wet, then put it in there. Yeah. It's much easier to work with.
Yeah, figure out what the real size of it once it's wet, and it's okay to be loose. Okay, it's okay to be loose, not too loose, but it doesn't have to be as much as you can get in there because that's really actually not the best. If it's too much, it will clog up on the bottom really fast and cut the flow down immediately, and you'll be changing that polyfill more than you need to. So
it works great though. Really good.
Yeah.
That's about all the content.
So I can answer this question here from Dino Velez. He's got some great questions tonight. How about using bleach to regenerate purging? That's the only way you can regenerate purging. So it's simple to regenerate purging. Half bleach, half water. So if you use a cup of water, use a cup of bleach. Let that sit overnight, 24 hours. Flip the little bag over a couple times. Stir it with I use like those shish kebab wooden sticks, bamboo sticks. Do that. And then the next day I run water over it for about 10 minutes or so to do that. And then I fill it up with water. I personally, because I'm paranoid of the whole chlorine thing with the fish, because I had an issue last year about that. But I put in a whole tablespoon of safe for what? Like 2 cups of water. It's overkill. But I absolutely, and then I also move those beads around because the bleach can kind of get trapped if you just leave it like that. So
the way I used to do it is I would take an old aquarium net that was fine mesh. I'd put the Purigen in there because I've always used my own bags, and I put an air stone in there, and while it was regenerating, that air stone would act like a tumbler and keep it moving around.
Yeah.
Then when it was all done, like you said, I would go safe crazy, and I would do that 3 times. I was very paranoid. Anytime you've ever used bleach, man, you get a little paranoid. But
even small amounts of bleach will affect your pH. It will drop your pH. So, that's. Anyway, that's how you do Purigen.
Just keep plenty of Purigen on hand that when you take out Purigen, you've got some fresh ready to go. And then after you get done cleaning it, regenerating it, and rinsing it out, I like to spread it out on a cookie sheet or something. I let it dry. Yeah. And then once it's dry, I put it back in the container and store it for the next use.
Okay, everyone, we're going to take a break real quick. I'm going to show you the call-in graphic. We didn't talk about it, but Star Info is active if you want to call in that way. Typing into the chat right now, Star Info will pull up our wonderful information chat bot, give you information that you need to know. We're going to hear from our sponsors real quick. When we come back, we're going to take some more questions and answer some questions, and then we are going to give some stuff away. So here we go. Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Hey, one of our sponsors is Wind Rider Creations. That's their old name, and they're moving into a new name, which is called Acrylic Habitats. They got a whole new website. They got a whole new shop. All this stuff. They're really doing some massive changes and all of that. So you'll see a couple of things in there. We still do have the wet dry filter that we will be giving away. We're just waiting for everybody to catch up to that moment to be able to do that. So anyway, here we go. This is what we're going to be giving away this wet dry right here. This is from Wind Rider Creations. It's a beautiful wet dry. So it's allocated for us and all that. So I'm thinking, Ron, since we've got such a lag on the playing these videos is probably not really going to work. But I am going to put up that call graphic right now. If you want to call in to the show, please do. We'd love the call-ins. Love them, love them, love them.
I'm from Rochester, Illinois. Try Ron Cichlids, you guys. His fish are awesome. They're big, beautiful, vibrant. I got a couple of them in here. Also, his food. His food is unreal. They devour it. They splash me for it. That's the only bad thing I can say about the food is I get wet every time I feed them almost. But 5 stars all around. Get a hold of Ron, roncichlids.com.
Up. Hey everyone, welcome back. Hey, before we start taking some questions, I'd really like to do a shout out kind of thing here. We've got a new moderator for the Ron Demers Facebook groups, Mr. James Smith, who's also partnered with ADA Tank Supply. We want to just give a shout out to you right now, James. Thanks for being here with the show. Thanks for always supporting us and helping us out. You're an awesome guy. His partner is Jeffrey in Springfield, Missouri. They're the team of ADA Tank Supply. Beautiful rocks. And here's the thing. They're on the wheel, a $50 gift certificate, and they just got a large shipment of Holy Rock in. Really some beautiful pieces. So welcome to the team, James. We really appreciate you. Yeah. Okay, so let's take some questions. We have a caller, but let's answer a couple of quick questions. So let me pull up our messenger chat and TJ Hofstadler. Thank you so much, TJ, for making these questions here. So let's go up to the top. Marie Roth Henderson wants to know how large of a tank do you need to have to reinforce the floor? Yeah.
Key. Have a block. Now, if you live in a manufactured home, double wide, in like house in China, brick home, about 3. Start getting, I would say probably 100. Probably have somebody with engineering skills. Maybe you look at that to make sure.
Absolutely. And what you need to consider is 8.1 pounds per gallon. You have a 100-gallon tank. You've got 800 pounds just in the water alone. Then you got the tank. Most tanks at that size probably weigh somewhere between 60 and 100 pounds. And then you usually have about 80 to 100 pounds of substrate. So you can see how that adds up really quickly.
Sand, filter, all of that.
Yeah. So if you've got something bigger than 120, you need to have somebody inspect underneath. Like you said, if you have concrete, no big deal. But if it's floor joists, anyway, so that's the answer on that. Roger, let's see. Noel Harding. No, okay. So anyway, big shout out to Noel. Okay, so I think I know what he's asking. He says, "What size pump would you recommend?" And I think he's talking about the water pump.
He's overusing done using.
Oh yeah.
So, that's up to you. Pumps work off of head height. So if you have to pump, I would just say 1,000-gallon-per-hour pump. Fine. I don't think you need much more than that, but having a little too much is fine. 1,500 at the most. Economical, cost-wise, around 1,000 gallons per hour, and I think.
Just so you know, tonight on the wheel, we have our main prize, and that one of those main prizes is your choice. I forget the name of the manufacturer. I'll tell you when we get there, but there's an 1,100 gallon per hour pump, or you can choose to have a large fish if you actually win that grand prize. Dino, let's see, we've answered that one. Roger Esparza, explain the difference between bio. Okay, so I'm going to refer you to episode number 3 on that question. But quickly, I'll answer this real quick. But bio is.
Can you hear me, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no one else is hearing you. Okay. All right.
Wasn't sure.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay.
So basically, Ron was talking about the. I think I answered it. We'll just go from there. Jenna Custard says, please, can you run a pump while you vacuum the substrate? Can the food and debris go through the pump?
Food and debris, depending on the type of pump, may or may not go through the pump. Yes, you can use a pump while you're vacuuming the substrate if you're going to run them separate, but there's no, you don't want to use a gravel siphon that pulls too fast because you're going to start sucking up your sand. But yes, you can use a pump.
Yeah. We've got 2 callers on. I'm going to pull up a caller who is calling from appears to be Mississippi. So let's go ahead and bring on the caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Hello, caller. Can you hear us? It's a 256 number.
There she is.
I'm here.
There you are. Good evening.
Good evening, y'all.
Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
Andrew, Basis. I'm in Alabama.
Alabama. Awesome. Nice.
Thank you for calling.
I'm north. All the way up to the top.
Huntsville.
Huntsville's about 30 minutes from. We're
Nice.
like flooded around here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A lot of water. So I'm down in Fairhope. So welcome, fellow. I'm actually Californian that's been on vacation in Alabama for about 4 years. So.
Oh, that's funny.
So
yeah, I was a military brat, so we moved from beach to beach. So Alabama is completely out of the ordinary for me.
Yeah. Alabama's a cool place. The whole South is really cool. A lot of cool people. What question do you have for Ron tonight?
Well, honestly, I didn't have a question. And I'll be honest, I just came on probably about 10 minutes ago. I can't believe I missed it. I just wanted to say hi to y'all.
Nice. Well, we appreciate you calling in. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Nice hearing you.
So
do you ever visit each other?
Say that again?
Do you guys ever visit one another?
We've been trying to plan it for a while. I think we're about 7 or 8 hours away. Is that right, Dave?
Yeah, 10 hours. Mm-hmm.
10 hours. Wow, that's a lot more.
Driving.
Yeah, driving. Yeah, we need to. We our schedules just aren't. He's a busy man and I'm a busy man, you know, but we got something in the works hopefully for this next month. So
I think it would be awesome to build out a little television studio and be able to do this in person, Ron. It would be
at least
amazing.
one.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice, like all us members on the clubhouse just get together once a year.
There you go. Find some place we all get together. Dave will cook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fish fry.
Hey, we really appreciate you calling in. The call-ins make this show. You're awesome. We appreciate you. We'll see you in the clubhouse. Thanks for calling in.
You have a great night.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, so our next caller, we're going to go straight to it. Let's see if I can figure out where they're from. I don't know that area code, but area code 630, you are now on Fish Talk Live. How are you doing? Who is this and what's your location?
Nick from Wisconsin. I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Nice and cold up there?
It's like 10 degrees. Well, not too bad.
That's hot.
Dang.
Only like 10 degrees.
So what was your name?
for you.
Nick?
Nick,
Nice. Appreciate you calling in. What's your question, Nick?
is there a certain amount of time that you would recommend, like, replacing the heaters? I mean, are they known to go out in a certain amount of years, or?
If you buy a good quality heater, then they may just stop working. That's it'd be a good idea to have one as a spare, but no, there is no normal maintenance for swapping them out. I've got some that only last a few years, but I abuse them. They're outside of my tanks, and then I've had some that are 8 or 10 years old. So
a good way to back up heaters, Nick, is you have your backup heater and you set it for whatever your really low your emergency level is, so it's never comes on really. So it's not, you don't ever work it. So if it's like 73, 74, 75, whatever, and it just sits in the tank. So if the main heater goes out, you have at least that. I would imagine in Wisconsin it would be catastrophic if you lost your heater, right? Yeah.
They also make another device that can help too, like we talked about before, Dave, is that Inkbird thermometer controller, temperature controller. They're only like $35 on Amazon. You can plug your heater into that, and it will take care of turning it on and off for you.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think there's a normal cycle out rate for those. They're 40, $50 even for one of the big ones. So if you wanted to be on a program to replace them every, say, 2 years, I don't see any harm in that.
There's a lot of
I
cheap.
just have one that's getting pretty old, and I didn't know if it was worth just switching it out before something happened, or.
I would say so, probably in your case. If you're saying that it's old, as cheap as they are, I mean, so to speak, in relativeness, you can get a 300 to 500 watt titanium submersible for $40 to $50.
Okay, good to know.
And those things are tough. I mean, I take them in and out of the water all the time outside, and I can't kill them. I absolutely can't kill a titanium heater. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're called titanium. I don't know.
Because they're stronger than
you
super.
recommend over another?
I favor FinX. I probably have 35 to 40 of them, and a couple other name brands, but I've gotten away from the glass heaters altogether, and everything I have is titanium now. FinX, they have a digital thermometer, and some have a analog dial. Knock on wood, I put them through hell and back, and they work great.
Yeah, I have
I appreciate it.
Eheim glass one that is about 4 years old now.
Eheim makes great quality
it's-
stuff. We
it's
just don't
working.
hear about it as much as we used to anymore because of the cost and some other things. But Eheim is absolutely a wonderful, one of the best aquarium product design groups out there.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, let me ask you a question. What kind of fish do you keep?
Mainly haps and peacocks.
Nice. And let me ask you this. Have you ever used Ron Cichlids food for haps and peacocks?
I have used his juvenile size. I have used his adult size, and I've used his medicated.
Nice.
Nice.
And they've all worked out great.
Yeah, good.
It's good to hear. I appreciate the feedback. It's still a little humbling to me that I get feedback so much about the huge change it makes on people's fish. So I'm glad.
It's unreal. I mean, they don't even think twice. I mean, some other foods I've fed, I've seen them spit it out, and definitely not with this stuff.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing your fish and your tanks on the clubhouse. And thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.
Have a good one, Nick. Later.
Okay. I think we're pretty close. Anybody want to win some fish? Just curious. We've only got 58 people on. Pretty hard to get another 30. But anybody want to win some fish? Some big, beautiful peacocks and haps? Huh?
What do you want to win?
What do you want to win, Ron? What do you want to win? A trip to Italy? How about the new truck?
It's on the road map. I want to go to Africa, probably for like 3 weeks.
So do I.
Or Australia. I mean New Zealand, Australia, in like one big trip.
Yeah. I think I would like to do that too, but I think Italy's the top, and then Africa's after that. I'd like to see Egypt too, but anyway, let's go ahead and do some stuff. Let's look at the member video of the week. That this week is Mr. Craig Johnson.
Craig Johnson is a longtime customer before a lot of people even know who I was. He's got great tank, a lot of fish came from me. He's got some beautiful sunshines in there, some dragons out of her caves, beautiful rostratus and gorgeous venustus, some beautiful star sapphires. I see his insignis in the back. Just a great guy, absolutely great guy. Beautiful tank. We picked it as video of the week. It's just nice and clean. The fish look happy, nice, big, beautiful fish.
Yeah, the Venustus got beautiful blue on his face.
Gorgeous.
And what is that? The rostratus there on the left there right now.
There's a rostratus in there.
Yeah, and the tetrastigma looks beautiful too. That green with the red fins.
I love the green. There's just not enough green fish in the hobby.
Yeah, it's my favorite fish in my tank is that one. All right. So as you all know, Mr. Ron Demers is a social breeder. He's on Instagram and Twitter. You can find him there. So everybody knows what that music is. You might not seeing the video, but that music means that we're about ready to give away some stuff. All right. Okay, so this is the way this works. Trying to find something. All right. So we've picked out the hashtag earlier, and I'm going to put a graphic back up, and then you're going to put in this hashtag. That hashtag is what, Ron?
Hashtag water change.
All right, so now we go. Yeah, go ahead. So that's what we've got. Hashtag water change. Put it in right now. Put it in right this minute. Hashtag water change. All right, so it's hashtag water change. When this song is over, we're going to close that out. We're going to pick several people to spin. I think we should do all spinners tonight. Like I said, we have our sponsor, 88 Tank Supply. It's got a $50 gift certificate to be applied towards some amazing rock. Lower this. I always get about halfway in and go, that's a little too much future bass. Anyway. Hashtag water change. Lowercase, all one word, water change. Hashtag water change. Hey, Jeffrey, I just saw his name come up. And, all right. It's all coming in, everybody. I'd like to see big wins today. I'd like to see like bam, bam, bam. What do you call it? Grand prize. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the fish of the week, and we'll come back and we'll pick those people. Here is the fish of the week. Tell us a little bit about the fish of the week that you chose this week, Ron.
Fish of the week this week I chose is a red shoulder peacock. Beautiful fish. They usually get around 6-7 inches. The males get a bright blue with a striking red through their shoulder and down into their pelvic fins. For a peacock, they're one of the ones that can be a tad aggressive, depending on the tank scenario, but beautiful fish, really easy to keep, relatively common, but it's just something people love, seeing that contrast of blue and red. Diet is the same as all other peacocks and haps. They'll eat just about anything, and very good breeders as well. Just an all-around beautiful fish to have in an aquarium.
So the way this works is that the fish of the week is 25% off. So if you are ordering a large red shoulder, and they're about $30 somewhere in there, you would be saving about $7. So they're back down to like $23. So it's a great way for you to do that. Now it's only available until Thursday night at midnight, or it's actually Friday at midnight. But anyway, about 24 hours. So if you want one, go to the shop, use the code S18Red. That stands for episode 18 Red Shoulder. So S18 Red. It's a great fish, and you'll love it. It's a beautiful fish.
Beautiful fish.
All right, so we're gonna give away some stuff, but first, tell people about your delivery service, Ron.
For any of you new viewers, I have a house in South Carolina as well, and on my way up, I meet people, customers that need food or fish. So I go up a couple times a month to the other house, and if you're along I-95 from Palm Beach, Florida to exit 38 in South Carolina, reach out to me. If you're looking for fish or food, I can meet you on the side of I-95 and saves you 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks in shipping costs. So instead of you paying to have your fish or food, depending on what you need, shipped, I could just meet you on the side of the road, and we can shake hands and we can introduce ourselves and get some good fish and save yourself some money.
And you're leaving when?
This week I leave Friday morning, bright and early. I will be Jacksonville area probably by 10 a.m. at the latest, probably 9 a.m. I stop all along the way, basically St. Augustine, awesome. Cocoa Beach, Jacksonville, Brunswick.
So if you're looking to put an order in and you want to save a bunch of money on shipping, this is like a really cool way to do that. So hit up Ron, go to his shop, give him a message. You can reach him on Ron Cichlids' page on Facebook. All right, we're going to give away some stuff now. So here is how that works, and we might not see every frame on the video, but what's in front of us is that top post is Tuesday FishTalk Live. So I'm going to go ahead and say pick a winner. What I always do beforehand is I will pick the first one, which it clears out the system, so it's not an actual winner. I usually move that down so when Joshua GOULD comes up and he's not actually the winner, he won't get upset when he sees his name. All right, here we go. So the first one, we are going to use a hashtag for that, and that hashtag, gosh, there's a lot of hashtags in the show tonight. Okay, we're going to use hashtag MySumpLOL. No, someone put that in there. What was the hashtag again? Water change? Yeah.
Water change.
All right. So here we go. Water change is up there. Excuse me 1 second. About ready to choke on my own tongue. There we go. All right. So let's do this so that people can see. Our first person we're going to spin with is Mr. Garrett Brewer. Congratulations. Wow. Yeah. Garrett Brewer. I'm so glad that you got this, Garrett. We're going to spin for you. You'll be the first spinner. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick another person off of the same hashtag, water change. And the other person that's going to be spinning tonight as well, Mr. Vince Stamboni. Congratulations, right. Vince. Yeah.
Congratulations, Vince.
I was we were just talking about Vince and just a good guy, really good guy.
Great guy. I talked to him. He was having some issues. I talked to him on the phone I think it was about a week and a half ago for like 45 minutes to an hour. We were just shooting the breeze for a while. He just got some more fish this week too.
Oops. I'm trying to put the wheel up. We're not finishing yet. Okay. So Garrett is going to be, I don't know what they're saying, but whatever. So this is going to be your spin, Garrett. And I'm going to pick this out. I'm just going to do this very, very randomly. And here we go. I'm going to pull the yellow one over here that says mystery prize. And I'm going to bring that around to my favorite number, which is number 7. Good luck, Garrett. Here you go. Or Kim or whoever it is. They're one and the same. 2 peas in a pod. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Watch this. Watch this. Bam, 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 bam. Come on, Garrett. Garrett, you just won 250 grams of Seachem Safe.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a new F-150.
Yeah.
You didn't say that this week.
I know, that's right. Ain't that right? Okay, so there you go. So Garrett, congratulations. You have won 250 grams of Seachem Safe. Seachem Safe is the water dechlorinator we were talking about. And
great stuff.
Yeah, that just 250 grams will do 50,000 gallons of water. All right, so Vince Stamboni, you are up next. I'm going to refresh, which is going to give me a new wheel, and I'll let Ron pick a color, either left or right.
Let's go with the Very light green.
The light green on the left or the right?
The right.
And which number?
7.
Ooh.
Lucky
Right.
number 7.
Right there. That's about 7 right there. All right. Good luck, Mr. Stamboni. This is for all the money in the world. Come on, come on. Looks like a 4-pack, a 20-gallon breeder sponge. 4-pack. Congratulations, Mr. Stamboni.
Congrats,
Awesome.
Vince.
So,
If I got over 100 comments, they'd win a $25 gift card.
okay, so let's check that out. So Ron and I were discussing other winning options. Don't go anywhere. Don't you dare change that channel. All right, so he was telling me that he has a post. Let me pull up our handy dandy software here.
It was for bottom feeders.
And it's on the Ron Cichlids page.
The Cichlid Clubhouse.
Oh, you can't pull it off a group. Can't you have to do it off of? You should probably do it off Facebook, Fish Talk Live, or Ron Cichlids. But we can go ahead and go to. Why don't we? What do you want to do, Ron? This is your deal. I mean, this is you. You're Santa Claus here, buddy.
Let's do like 2 more spins.
Okay.
Give away some more stuff.
Well, wait. We dropped from 60 to 53, so everybody's left. I don't know if we can. That doesn't seem right. If we can get those people back, we'll do it.
Bribe them.
Yeah. Hold on. Where's my vape pen anyway? So let me pull up. This is the wrong one. This is our chat bot. Hey, so I never promote myself out there. If any of you out there need any graphics work, web design, video editing, there's a bunch of stuff. I have a team of people with my agency. I run a marketing and branding agency. So if you have a small business or a large business and you're looking for that, hit me up. Hit me up. We're doing cool stuff right now. All right, so what am I looking for, Ron? We want to spin again. Did I close the window? Woo box. There we go. Okay, here it is. There's our 2, Vince and Garrett.
Let's pick some more people.
All right. So this one's going to be anybody that commented, and user may only enter once. So out of the comments, off of there. So let's see. This is a really fair way of doing things too. I love this one. All right. So we're going to spin the wheel for Jeff Pittman. So hey Jeff, I want to make sure these people are still on it. Jeff, if you are still on, give us a heads up in the chat. Jeff Pittman, we'll give you about a minute to do that, and then you're also gonna let's do it off of reactions. So there we go. I just did reactions. Too late if you didn't do it. So the next one is going to be off of the reactions. That's your likes, your happy faces, and all of that. So Judd Hazen has given us a like, and we are going to spin the wheel for you. Is Jeff Pittman there still? Had he showed up yet in the chat?
I lost my feed for the chat.
I don't see him. Jeff, we're going to give you another 30 seconds to say what's up, that you're here. If not, I'm going to nix you and go to someone else. Same with Judd Hazen. Judd Hazen, I need to hear from you in the chat. You need to say something, anything like I'm here. Jeff Pittman, Judd Hazen. Okay, so it's going once. We're going to do this quick. It's only people that are on right now. There's just no sense of, I mean, if you bailed, whatever. I'm waiting for the lag time to catch up. It's about 90 seconds. There's Jeff Pittman. Good. And we also need to hear from Judd Hazen. Judd Hazen. Okay, so we're going to spin from Jeff Pittman. Chat moderators, please watch for Judd Hazen and let me know when I'm done here. All right, so Mr. Pittman, congratulations. Let's go ahead and pull up the wheel. And I'm going to let you do the same thing we did before, Ron. Let me reset it. Give me a color.
All right. How about the pink?
On the top or the bottom?
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. And what number did you like, sir?
Go with a 9.
All right. So there is pink in the 9.
Big prize. Big prize.
Yeah, come on. Big fish. Big fish. Come on. API test kit. That's a great prize.
Yeah, look at that. Went all the way around. Perfect.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, you won yourself a API freshwater kit. What you need to do is contact Ron Cichlids page. Either message that. You can also message Ron at FishTalk Live page, which is facebook.com fishtalk.tv.
And if you guys are not registered on my website, please register there. That way I have all of your info, your name, your phone number, your address, where I need to send this, and I can keep it in there.
All right. So everybody that's going late with us and everything, let's go ahead and come back here and here. Unfortunately, Mr. Judd Hazen, we are unpicking you right now. And that's just the way that is. Okay, so we're going to do reactions again, which gives everybody who didn't do a reaction a second chance. And let's go ahead and pick the winner. And that winner is Dome. We need a drum roll. We talked about that last week. Catherine Walker. Congratulations,
right.
Catherine. You are our next wheel spinner. And so we appreciate you, but we want to make sure you're here. So basically, you've got less than a minute to say you're here or not.
A minute to win it.
A minute to win it. And if not, I'm going to randomly pick some. Well, I can't do that. How can I randomly pick someone? Lori's here, he says. Joe's like, well, Lori's here. Yeah. What did he say earlier? It was so funny.
I use her toothbrush.
Yeah, Lori's here. She just got back from Walmart getting a new pack of toothbrushes. Come on, Catherine, where are you at? All right, why don't we do this instead? Well, we can't do that because then we can't do one over the other. I'd really like to see her win something, but if she's not here. Maybe a trivia question. I know she's always here, Tasha. I think the same thing. A trivia question. You know, we do want to do that. I want to make a game show of fish. I don't know how to do it. Hey, if you guys are willing to log in with video, I'll show you how. I'll get you the free software. I'll get you on here. If you're willing to log in, if there's 3 people, I will put together a game show episode. That all it is like Wheel of Fortune, or probably more like what's the other one? Jeopardy. I'll build a Jeopardy. Yeah, well, and that's
Dave,
all we'll do.
I'll go with fish poop for 200, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go with yellow pombo chin for pombo rocks. Let's see here. Catherine, super sorry to do this to you, but I'm picking someone else. Yeah, Tim Brander says nice rewarding people that stick in. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what we do, right? Roger says he's down for that game show episode. Okay, so that we got one. We need 2 more people. Obviously, you'll win something. Yeah.
Family Feud.
Catherine, we've waited long enough and appreciate you. One of the things about this show y'all need to know is that Dave likes to mix it up. I like to do little things that gently encourage and persuade you to be more engaging with our show. And this is obviously one of them. Stick it out to the end. I mean, you could literally win yourself a free large fish, which is basically almost $100. It costs $60 to ship the darn fish. Fishes are $30. That's super generous
Heads
on
up.
Ron's part. So I mean, it just makes sense. I'm unpicking Catherine right now. Sorry about that. I really wanted to do that for you. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see here. I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Jake Rowe.
Congrats, Jake. Jake just got some fish too.
Yeah, maybe we can win some more fish now. Are you there, Jake? Jake, I want to hear if you're there. Other words, I have another way of doing this. So there's no way to validate, but you'll just have to trust me that I am probably one of the most fair people you'll ever meet. Like, it's just part of what I do. I like doing things fair. Jake, I'm going to give you less than a minute. Come on, Jake. Speak up now or forever hold your peace.
Do, 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 do.
Dun, 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 dun. Jake, it was certainly nice offering this to you.
Where's Walt?
Where is Waldo? He's in the back of the tank being bullied by the VC-10. He's got him pinned up in the corner of the tank.
Just goes to show you need to use the restroom before the show happens.
Yeah.
Because if you go during the show, you're going to miss out.
Jake's not here. Okay,
There
so
he is.
there he is.
At the buzzer.
Jake's here. Yeah, I was just gonna kibosh Jake too. I was like, okay, that dude's out of here. All right, Jake.
buzzer.
Now, if you don't win a fish, I'm gonna be upset here. So let's go and redo this, and I'm gonna pick this one. I'm gonna pick my favorite color, which is that kind of cornflower blue right there. I'm gonna pick the bottom one. So, and I'm gonna push that to number 2. So there's the purplish color, and there's number 2. Hey, best of luck to you, Jake. I really, really, really want to see you win a fish off of Ron's shop.
You put one on there, it's like a free hug. Like a booby prize.
Yeah.
These are all good prizes. There needs to be a booby prize on there. Go 2-gallon breeder pack of filter sponges. Congrats.
Congratulations, Jake. Hey, this has been a really cool, fun show. We've kind of changed the format a little bit. We're looking for a way to make it a little bit lighter and easier without all of this information being bombarded. Of course, we're going to get back to that at some point. We've got a bunch of cool shows coming up. Let me see if I can get there. Hold on. I don't remember what they are. Do you remember what next week's is?
I don't. You caught me off guard.
I'm letting Google Docs load right now, so hold on here. Let's see. Where did we do that at?
Something, and I was just looking at it from my end.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we'll let you know what it is. We've got a bunch of really cool stuff coming up. Let's see. Is it untitled? I didn't title it. No. Okay. Well, we're gonna let you know. Hey, everybody! This has been really exciting to be able to put this show together and to see people react and come on and all of that. We're super glad that you're here. Thank you. Without the viewers, this show wouldn't be anything. Totally appreciate you. We're gonna see you next week, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Ron, I'm gonna give you the last word, and we're out.
Thanks, Dave. Just want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in and being part of the clubhouse. And just special thanks. Y'all are important to me. I appreciate your time. And hopefully I can keep teaching you new things. Love you guys. Have a great night. Thank you. Congratulations, winners.